what a depressing time it is to be in Greece. And I say this as a friend of the Greek left, of the Greek people. So we had the crisis of 2008. Greece, the weakest link in the European chain, broke first. And from 2010 till now, we have seen what has happened to this country. And it was in response to all this that the social movements, the occupations of squares, the dozens of general strikes all over Greece came out and protested against that. And Syriza was the organization they chose in which to invest their hopes. It's the social movements that made Syriza what it is today. Important to understand that. It's not just the original nuclei which comprised Syriza. And that social movement, strongly supportive of the Thessaloniki program, promising to reverse the course that has wrecked Greece. They did cook the books, but the Germans knew. Why didn't they stop it at the time? Why didn't they? Everyone knew. It wasn't a big secret, and nor was Greece the only country. And after the crisis, reduce the debt, but make sure that the investors are paid. That's what the bailouts were all about, paying the investors. And you know, when you think about it, just as a footnote, if you count up the money paid to all the top banks, trillions of dollars, not billions, trillions of dollars, can we believe this nonsense that there's not enough money in the banks of the Eurozone to bail Greece out just like that? They could do it if they wanted, but they don't do it. And they don't do it not for economic reasons, because economically it would be beneficial to them. They don't do it for political reasons. They don't do it because they don't want the Syriza model to spread to Spain, to capture Ireland, to make people think again something's possible. Not too much, but something's possible. So they decided, even before Syriza came, Geithner said, the German finance minister, and he quotes it, told him in 2010, we're going to teach the Greeks a lesson. They lied to us, they suck, they were profligate and took advantage of the whole thing, and we're going to crush them. And when Syriza comes to power, on the very first meeting on the 20th of February in Berlin, Schäuble told Tsipras and Varoufakis very openly, forget your program. The program on which you're elected, forget it. Okay, if you want, we'll call the Troika the institutions if you want a tiny concession. That's all. That is all. And the big mistake these comrades made was to come back and pretend that this was a victory. You've had to abandon your entire political program, and that's a victory? Not just 1 point or 2 points or this or that, the whole program. The size of the referendum victory shook the European elite. It shook them because they were not prepared for it. All these jokers who teach lessons to the Greek people, like Juncker. What we now have is a capitulation. There's no other word to describe it. You can explain it, you can argue for it, but that is what it is. That the third memorandum goes against the 61% who voted to reject the previous memorandum. So it's a betrayal of your own people, and it's a capitulation to the EU leaders who themselves don't care a damn about democracy. So that is the situation we are at now. Who knows what's going to happen? As far as I'm concerned, the members of parliament, Zoe, who should be here, and others who decided that this was too important to put party before the Greek workers and their interests, and who decided to vote against these measures, essentially are the courageous people in Athens today. The Germans, for their own reasons, not for good reasons, for their own reasons, offered quite a large amount of money to Greece if they could organize an amicable Grexit. And in my opinion, to be perfectly frank, that deal would have been much better than what finally Greece has accepted. They should have accepted that. Please, this dogmatic decision to stay in the Eurozone at all costs. What is the point of fetishizing a currency? What they have done to Greece is unusual because it has been done in public. And the reason it's been done in public is to show the other Europeans, you misbehave and step out of line. See what we did to Syriza? We crucified Tsipras. So in this particular situation, one has to ask, what does it mean to be a member of the European Union? It's not an equal union. It's not a family. Well, it is a family if you look at it like this. That you have a German patriarch schooled in the old disciplinary ways of Prussia. You have his French wife, but she's already having an affair with an American. And you have children, and as we know, in many families of this sort, there's a lot of abuse. And some of the children are being abused. Is this the sort of European Union that we want? No. And I say no. There is nothing progressive about the EU at all.